Your school teacher probably only taught you that there were two things that are definite in life, and that is death and taxes. But I tell you, there's one more thing that is definite in life, and that is the CPF full retirement sum increasing, as well as the basic healthcare sum increasing every year. That's a new definite for you. So it is the time of the year again where the CPF just announced the basic healthcare sum to increase, and this time it will be increased to $68,500 in 2023. Now this is the annual hike that everyone who understands CPF would already be anticipating. I mean, the current BHS level is at $66,000, which is the max amount that you can hold in your Medisave account in 2022, and in 2023 that will be increased by $2,500 to $68,500. So when you hear of this news, most likely you would see a Facebook announcements on those Straits Times and CNA webpage. And this time round, I'm not disappointed. I'm going to see a lot of anti-government sentiments, anti-CPF and haters going around talking about shifting of goalposts, and of course very angry that CPF is increasing the minimum sums or basic healthcare sums again. This time round, something is much more spicy because this time it's not all about CPF. People even commented about Temasek and FTX. Comments such as Temasek has lost money in FTX and hence need to increase CPF balances to recoup the losses. But that's not the only piece of news regarding the CPF basic healthcare sum increase, because the other news is that CPF interest will remain unchanged for now, and that has caused a little bit of unhappiness in the Facebook comments because the general public was expecting CPF to increase their interest rates to go and fight with inflation. I mean, inflation is now at around 5, 6, 7%, soaring through the roof, right? And if CPF rates do not increase, how are they going to keep up with inflation? So that's the general public comments. So you see, some things really never change one other than death and taxes. Your CPF FRS every year will increase. In fact, they already announced in like few years before that your CPF FRS will be at this level. Only the basic healthcare sum will be announced towards the year end, like currently in November or December period. And the complaints either at Facebook comment section or online forums will always come, despite people knowing the fact that it will always increase every year. So old habits die hard. Next year we are going to see this kind of comments again. Now for context of this video, I have already achieved the full retirement sum in my special account as well as the full basic healthcare sum in 2022. That means 192,000 in my special account as well as 66,000 in my Medisave account. So in this video, I'll discuss how does the new basic healthcare sum affects me and maybe affects some of you who maybe this is the first time that you achieve the basic healthcare sum. But before that, I have a little Christmas surprise for you. Ho ho ho, it's Merry Christmas soon, and Weibo is spreading its love by giving $150 worth of cash voucher, especially during this promotional period till 31st December. So when you sign up for Weibo account and make your first deposit of at least 2,000 Singapore dollars, then you can make a one buy order. This order will need to be a minimum of 100 USD. I mean, you can look at AAPL, Apple stock, because one share of Apple is around 150 US dollars. Next, you also have to make one options trade. So I would suggest that you buy one put option of Apple at $70, expiring the nearest date, which is this Friday, and that will be at 1 cent, right? So 100 units of that will be just $1 expense. After that, make sure that you hold your deposits for at least 30 days until your cash voucher is credited. So don't need to worry about whether your stock value will fluctuate up or down, because as long as you have not made any cash withdrawals, your reward eligibility is still valid. So sign up for a Weibo account using my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here, and hope you have enjoyed a Merry Christmas. So for those who have already achieved your basic healthcare sum, which is 66,000 in year 2022, either by voluntary contributions or mandatory contributions, then you all may have this confusion or this question like, what is going to happen to the interest when it's credited to your CPF account? Now, as a multi-time CPF BHS maxer out for these past few years, I can safely tell you that your interest is still going to go in. Doesn't mean that your basic healthcare sum is maxed. You will not receive interest. If that kind of thing happens, you can be sure that your CPF board will get scolded by millions of people. But that isn't going to happen. So on 31st December 2022 by 2359, your CPF interest will be credited into your 3 accounts, namely 2.5% in OA, 4% in your SA, MA, and RA. Your Medisave interest will still go to the Medisave account, which means that your Medisave account will go above 66,000. So if you are like me who achieved 66,000 by the 1st of January in 2022, right, we meet the basic healthcare sum, your simple interest will be around 2.6k. Won't be exact 2.6k because there are some deductions and calculations at the back end. So assuming it's 2.6k, so your Medisave account balance after the interest credit will be around 68.6k, right? Then from here, there will be two groups of people. The first group of people will be very delighted that next year they don't need to do any top up and anything because they have already meet the new basic healthcare sum. The new basic healthcare sum is only 68.5k, right? With the simple interest, I add in 2.6k, I'm already above the basic healthcare sum. That's the first group of people, very happy one. Then the second group of people are those people who are quite worried because they already plan to do a voluntary contribution to Medisave account on the 1st of January next year. Now, if the interest already covered that increase, how are they going to do that VCMA? And during my first time when I hit the basic healthcare sum, I belong to the second group of people, the worried one. So I'm going to tell you what will happen and it will not be what you expect because on the 1st of January 2023, what happens is that your interest that was credited into the Medisave account will be transferred, okay, transferred to either your special account or your ordinary account. So it will not stay in the Medisave account, which means that your Medisave account will go back to 66,000 on the 1st of January 2023. I know some of you are probably still confused. How come your Medisave account interest go into Medisave already, still can come out and transfer one? I don't know, it just happens. Because some of you may be worried that you all don't have the VCMA opportunity. I'm going to tell you that VCMA opportunity is still valid, so you do not have to worry about it. Regarding where does the 2.6k interest goes to, if your, let's say, your special account is not at full retirement sum yet, it will go into the special account. But if your special account has already reached full retirement sum like me, then the 2.6k interest will just go into the ordinary account. I mean, that is just the same way your employment mandatory contributions are credited, right? If your SA is already at full FRS, your MA is already at max BHS, all your MA contributions will go to the OA. So no change, the order is the same. So let's get back to the timeline. You see that on 1st January, your MA returned to $66,000, but you have a new BHS amount, right? Your new basic healthcare sum, which is at $68,500. And you see now you have a 2.5k tax relief opportunity because you can do voluntary contributions to your Medisave before your employment contributions for December kick in. So make sure you do that voluntary contribution to your Medisave before the 15th, that is the general date. For myself, I will just do it on the 1st of January to just take one thing off my mind and confirm that 2.5k VCMA opportunity. Now, why do I say that you should do your VCMA as soon as possible, that 2.5k tax relief thing, right? Is because you don't know when your employment mandatory contributions will come in, and especially during year end, right? December, that's when most of the companies pay out their employees bonus, their company bonus and all that stuff. So maybe your payroll is slightly increased, and that will mean that your Medisave account may hit 2.5k easily, and that will not be the ideal scenario if you want to chase for the tax relief opportunity via VCMA. So I would say just do as soon as possible when you have the funds, and just take one thing off your checklist and forget about it. So if you want the most recommended option, definitely top up through Pay Now QR. Like I mentioned in my previous CPF video, right, I show you how to do Pay Now QR top up to your CPF, and stop using that Grab Pay trick. It does not work. Last year I didn't even talk about it because I don't want to spoil the party, but too many people have spoiled the party. So you can only use your normal bank account. Just go and scan the Pay Now QR code and it will be deposited immediately. Now if you don't see it immediately, just log out and log in again. I'm sure the funds are there one. Now then, I only talk about the Medisave account and the BHS. What about the FRS? Because the FRS will be increased on 1st January 2023 as well, right? Now for me, FRS is not relevant anymore because I already hit the full retirement sum in 2022, which means that by the time I earn that compounded special account interest by 31st December 2022, that interest alone, the 4% compounded interest, will have covered the increment of 3.5% in the full retirement sum. So you see, your special account interest will not be transferred to your ordinary account, unlike your Medisave account interest. SA interest credited to SA will stay in SA. It will not be transferred to anywhere else, even if you have hit the full retirement sum, which also means that I do not have the opportunity to do retirement sum top up for tax relief anymore, which is fine because I already hit the full retirement sum. There's no space in between. There's no tax relief opportunity in between to do any RSTU to my special account for the next year, which is okay because I have already expected this for years before I even did the top ups and transfers. So I already gone through this with a few of my CPF videos, what will happen after you hit full retirement sum. So for those people who are really scared of what is happening, what will happen, and whether it's a good idea to do it or not, just learn from my example. So far, I already hit full retirement sum for close to a year and I have not regretted it yet. But if you are still unsure, maybe this is your first top up of your life doing VCMA or RSTU, then you can refer to my past year CPF FRS video where I top up both my accounts to the max basic healthcare sum and the full retirement sum in this video right here.